Thousands of hours have been spent in an effort to find Hannah.
And now tonight, Charlottesville's police chief says the search for Hannah Graham is over.
Please, please, please help end this nightmare for all of us.
Hannah's parents now waiting for a positive ID on the remains as we learn more about the Chesterfield team that made the horrific discovery.
This, sadly, is now a death investigation.
And we're live with the latest phase the investigation will now take. And good evening. That live team coverage includes Kelly Avellino and Susan Bahorich. They've been following this case from the very beginning, and they are just two members of our team working this story for you tonight. But first, we want to show you new video of the command center close to where those remains were found. Officials confirm the remains were discovered on an abandoned rural property in Albemarle County by a team from the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office. Kelly Avellino is live from Old Lynchburg Road where those remains were uncovered. And Kelly, what is happening there right now?
Detectives are still actively combing the area where those remains were found, just beyond this barricade behind me with police. And I can tell you investigators will continue to scour for clues surrounding the uncovering of this body. After 35 days and thousands of man-hours looking, search crews tracked down the grimmest of findings.
We think perhaps today proved their worth. They discovered what appears to be human remains.
Detectives quickly contacted Hannah's parents, a desperate state of unknown evolving into an even more harrowing reality.
Detective Sergeant James Mooney of the Charlottesville Police Department made a very difficult phone call and reached out to John and Susan Graham to share with them this preliminary discovery.
Chesterfield search teams had pinpointed the remains, but they're not yet positively identified as Hannah Graham. Still, detectives are now calling off the search for the UVA student.
This, sadly, is now a death investigation.
Suspect Jesse Matthew Jr. is charged with Hannah's abduction with intent to defile. Investigators also believe forensic evidence links Matthew to 20-year-old Morgan Harrington, whose body was uncovered in 2009. You could see only local traffic or neighbors were let through this stretch here on Old Lynchburg Road. And this area is just 20 minutes from where Hannah Graham was last seen at the downtown mall and 20 minutes from where Jesse Matthew lived in his Charlottesville apartment.
There's farms, there's also just little houses and big houses. And
Eliza Evans lives on Old Lynchburg Road, now the epicenter of the Hannah Graham investigation.
There's definitely been helicopters flying over.
As the effort into solving Hannah's case continues to drive forward. And investigators are asking anyone who lives along Old Lynchburg Road to come forward if they saw anything suspicious around the time of Hannah Graham's disappearance early in September, including anyone who looks like Jesse Matthew. In Albemarle County, I'm Kelly Avellino for NBC 12 News.
Kelly, our thanks to you as always. Well, these are the last known images of Hannah Graham captured in the downtown Charlottesville Mall in the early morning hours of September 13th. The news that remains have been found is spreading across the tight-knit community. And that's where Susan Bahorich picks up our live team coverage near the restaurant where Hannah was last seen. And Susan, what are people telling you tonight?
This has really been hard for those folks to take. It's really just very unsettling. Take a look. This is a store about a block from the downtown mall. It kind of sums up everything in this community. Our prayers go out to the family of Hannah Graham, right next to a picture of the missing teen. Now, basically, even though those outside the college community didn't know her, her disappearance, coupled with today's discovery, has been hard for everyone to take.
It's definitely really scary.
For the young women out on Charlottesville's downtown mall, missing Hannah Graham is never far from their thoughts. But word that her body may have been found brought new emotions.
I think it's really scary, and it's definitely disturbing.
After more than 30 days of searching, crews discovered human remains on a nearby farm. While investigators are waiting for DNA, many people are assuming the worst.
Certainly, I've just been thinking about her family in this time. Hopefully they'll be able to find more information to give them some peace and hopefully bring her home.
As this investigation progresses, Hannah's disappearance has left an impact. Nadine Michelle, a first-year medical student at UVA, says safety is now more of a priority than ever before. She's hopeful it's a movement that will grow and become stronger before another girl goes missing like Hannah.
We've definitely thought a lot about safety around this campus and how to keep ourselves safe and what we need to do to really protect other people and to be more vigilant when we see another situation happening and taking action instead of just walking by and not doing anything.
And then you heard it just right there. The message coming from this community tonight is that we need to work together to keep another girl from going missing. Live in Charlottesville, Susan Bahorich, NBC 12.
Susan, and just 2 days ago, our cameras captured the Chesterfield team that found the human remains in the search for Hannah. 1 sergeant and 9 deputies made today's discovery. And tonight, one of their own who helped to organize the effort tells us about the team and its mission.
You're looking at the Chesterfield deputies who discovered what may be the biggest break of this case. The 10 team members were supposed to work for 1 more day until they found human remains.
A definite wow moment, you know. I mean, when we sent these guys off, it was with the hopes that they were going down there with a fresh set of eyes and would turn something up and help get this investigation moved forward.
Lieutenant Gregory Damas told us Charlottesville called his department earlier this week, asking for anyone to volunteer and give their search teams a break. All of these deputies answered the call and are away from their families tonight. On Thursday, their leader, Sergeant Dale Terry, told us what they were looking for.
Everything that stands out is a clue. Anywhere from a sock to a soda can, anything that is, you know, new and fresh to the area is something that, you know, we want to pick up on.
Minimal details can be released on how they found the remains on a vacant property, but we asked if the deputies had any special equipment or skill sets that led to the discovery.
You know, I don't think it's so much all about the equipment. Everybody can get the same equipment, but, you know, it's about experience, training, and, you know, we really strive to give our deputies the best training in the area.
And as for how Lieutenant Thomas will greet his fellow deputies when they get home, his answer is simple.
You know, I think I'll give most of them probably a little bit more than a handshake, maybe a big hug, and tell them what a great job they did and how proud I am of them.
And of course, the deputies are coming back tomorrow. They are resting in Charlottesville for the night. Well, Hannah's parents have made numerous emotional pleas for their daughter's return. They have never mentioned the suspect, Jesse Matthew, by name, but they have addressed his charges and stayed focused on their message: bringing Hannah home.
Please, please, please help end this nightmare for all of us. Please help us to bring Hannah home. Thank you.
So hard to watch. Well, just yesterday, the Grahams joined the families of Morgan Harrington and Alexis Murphy as the Harringtons marked their own painful anniversary. Friday marked 5 years since Morgan's disappearance, one Jesse Matthew has been linked to. More on him in just a moment. But for so many touched by Hannah Graham's disappearance are expressing their thoughts and prayers in the wake of today's news. Ray Daudani is monitoring the reaction on social media, where so many of you have been following this case. He has that part of our team coverage tonight.
The news came as a shock, and the response came just as swift. Even those who never knew Hannah Graham felt the need to share their thoughts on Twitter and Facebook. Like Robin Reeder, who said, "Thinking of Hannah Graham's parents, brother, family, friends, and the Charlottesville community today. Justice for Hannah and save the next girl." Others continue to keep hope the remains won't be Hannah Graham, saying, "I refuse to believe the human remains that were found are Hannah's. No." Lori Antelick posted on Twitter, "So incredibly devastated for the Graham family. What kind of monster does this?" And Marissa Tonaccio wrote, "My heart is broken. We have to stop this. We have to help save the next girl." We're continuing to follow discussion, and you can join in on our Facebook and Twitter accounts as well. Ray Daudani, NBC12.com.
Okay, Ray, now if the remains turn out to be that of Hannah Graham, investigators are adamant one man can tell them how she got there. That man, Jesse Matthew Jr. He's in the Albemarle Regional Jail awaiting a December 4th court date. Now, Virginia State Police say there is a forensic link between Matthew and murdered Virginia Tech student Morgan Harrington. That link also indirectly ties Matthew to an abduction and rape case in Fairfax City. On your side, investigator Rachel DePompa is digging into Matthew's past.
Jesse Matthew grew up in Charlottesville. He attended Liberty University and played football, but suddenly left after being accused of sexual assault October 17, 2002. He popped back up at Christopher Newport University in Newport News in 2003, but he left the football team in less than a month after being accused of sexual assault on campus. Charges were not filed in either case. September 24, 2005, there's a violent rape and abduction in Fairfax City. This is the composite sketch of that suspect. The case has been linked by DNA to a murder 4 years later. Police have a forensic link to Jesse Matthew in that case. In 2005, Jesse Matthew gets his license and begins driving a taxi around Charlottesville. October 17, 2009, Virginia Tech student Morgan Harrington disappears from the UVA campus. Her body is discovered 3 months later on a farm in Albemarle County. In 2010, Jesse Matthews' license to drive a cab expires. In August 2012, he's hired at UVA as a patient technician in the medical center operating room. Last August, he started working as a part-time volunteer with the football team at the Covenant School in Charlottesville. He was seen on the sidelines Friday, September 12th. Hannah Graham goes missing in the early morning hours of Saturday, September 13th. She was last seen with Jesse Matthew on surveillance footage. Police searched Jesse Matthews' apartment on September 19th. September 21st, he's charged with reckless driving after police say he sped away from officers. A few days later, he's charged with abduction with intent to defile in the Hannah Graham case. He is arrested the next day in Galveston, Texas. Rachel DePompa, 12 on Your Side investigates.
Okay, Rachel, and it's important to note as well, at this point in time, Jesse Matthew Jr. is charged only with abducting Hannah Graham. And we've been committed to bringing you updates on this case from the beginning, and we followed through on that promise tonight. If you have our free news app, you knew the moment this news broke, and we'll blast out any alerts the moment that there are new developments in this case. And for complete coverage of the Hannah Graham case, you can visit our website, NBC12.com. And we're also following several other major stories at this late hour. We're going to take a moment to reset, and when we return, a Virginia high school football player dies moments after suffering an injury right on the field. The latest on that investigation when the news continues in just 2 minutes. All new at 11, tragedy strikes the high school gridiron Friday night. A junior on a Virginia high school football team takes a big hit, only to die hours later in the hospital. Our Matt Estrich is here now, live with more on the tragedy that's becoming far too common in high school football. Matt, good evening.
Yeah, Mike, good evening to you. Late in the first half in the Parkview Brunswick game, Parkview junior Jamon Sally was hit while covering a kickoff. He did manage to walk off to the sideline, but his health deteriorated from there. During halftime, Sally lost consciousness and began having seizures. Medical personnel at the game began CPR on site before transferring him over to Community Memorial Hospital in South Hill, where he later died. Teammates say he took a hard hit on that play. Parkview only has 24 players on the varsity squad, so this tragedy is hitting Jamon's teammates particularly hard. They remember him as a quiet leader, a good student, and one of the best offensive and defensive linemen on the team.
Not having Jamon here no more, me and him were side by side on the offensive line, and ain't gonna be the same looking to my left and him not being there.
He always go 110%. Me and him on the D-line, it was like, couldn't nobody stop us, but it's gonna be different looking to my left and see him not there.
We always lifted weights together, and he always pushed me to be the best man I can, and we always competed, and it hurts me terribly to have him gone.
No cause of death has been released as of this time. The game was stopped with 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Matt Estrich, NBC 12.
Okay, Matt. Well, out of Henrico, shifting gears tonight, a 56-year-old is charged in the shooting death of a teen in Sandston. Take a look. 56-year-old Walter Maybush is sitting in a jail cell right now. 19-year-old Jonathan Rake's body was found near South Confederate Avenue just before 11 last night. He later died at the hospital. Maybush is charged with first-degree murder and use of a firearm in the commission of a felony.
Accurate, reliable, trusted. Central Virginia's weather specialists. This is NBC 12 First Warning Weather.
And good evening to you. What a beautiful start to the weekend. Of course, today we had a lot of sun, temperatures up in the mid-70s. Our NBC 12 Skycam tonight, a nice view here of Midlothian Turnpike. We're looking to the west. Skies are partly cloudy overhead and actually turning quite a bit cooler. Our Elephant Insurance WeatherNet sites around the area. Notice from Midlothian to the east end of Richmond to the north side of Henrico County. We were in the 70s there earlier today, low to middle 70s, and now currently in the upper 50s. It's 59 degrees at the Richmond Airport, as cool as 52. Louisa also 52 in Charlottesville. You folks in Farmville checking in with 55 degrees right now. And we do have clear scans on Doppler radar, but notice just a little bit of patchy cloud cover working through the area tonight. There's some upper level energy passing through that will bring us a few clouds, but none of the showers that you see out here in West Virginia. The moisture will dry up before it ever gets this far to the east. You see a cold front moving offshore. That is helping to usher in that cooler air and a nice ridge of high pressure. That's going to build in and bring us a lot of sunshine, a really nice looking day tomorrow, just quite a bit cooler than it was today. And you see evidence of the cool air really being felt over a large part of the Midwest into the Northeast. The jet stream kind of swooping down here from Canada, and that will keep us on the cool side really for the next couple of days. Then we'll gradually warm things up just a little bit by the early part of next week. So your wake up weather forecast, the sun comes up at 21 minutes after 7. We'll have temperatures bottoming out in the middle 40s, so we'll drop about another 10 degrees or thereabouts by early tomorrow morning. The hour-by-hour forecast showing just a few clouds working through overnight, but generally mainly clear to partly cloudy skies, a bit of a chill. You'll probably need a jacket or maybe a light sweater very early on in the day, and still pretty cool through the afternoon, but we'll have a lot of sunshine. A breeze will pick up again, generally out of the northwest, maybe gusting over 20 miles per hour at times, so that will likely make it feel even a little bit cooler. So we have 46 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning, upper 50s, lots of sunshine by the noon hour, and there's our high temperature of 63, so a little more than 10 degrees cooler than it was today. And once the sun goes down tomorrow evening at 6:27, the temperature will start to fall pretty quickly. 55 degrees at 7 o'clock. We wake up to 38. That's in Richmond early Monday morning, but we'll have even colder numbers in the outlying area. So needless to say, I think some patchy frost is pretty likely early Monday morning with those conditions setting up. But we have a nice warm up. We bounce back to 68 degrees Monday afternoon. Clouds coming in Monday night into Tuesday, and it looks like by Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, we'll have another system working on through a cold front and then low pressure developing offshore. Let's take a closer look at that, because I think we will see the chance for some showers coming in here late Tuesday through early Wednesday. Not a lot of rain the way things look right now, and then that low pressure center really going to bring quite a bit of rain, it looks like, to the northeastern part of the country, but it moves away from us Wednesday afternoon. So some breaks in the clouds developing. Lots of sun for Thursday, mid 60s, pushing 70 on Friday, and lots of sun next Saturday, warming up a bit into the low 70s.
The CompareNow.com Sports Desk is sponsored by CompareNow.com. Real, unbiased car insurance comparison.
Last season, the Richmond Spiders looked at the Rhode Island game as the moment their season slipped away. It was a 12-10 loss on the road, a game in which the Spiders didn't allow a touchdown. Chance for redemption this afternoon at home. The Rhode Island Rams 0-6 this year. Michael Rocco getting the start today because Michael Strauss in a walking boot after getting hurt last week in the win against Albany. First quarter, this is 4th down. Rocco going deep to Reggie Diggs. It's a 38-yard touchdown, 13-0 Richmond after 1. To the second quarter, Jacoby Green going right up the middle for a touchdown run. He led the team with 91 yards on the ground. 23-0 Spiders at halftime. Then in the third quarter, David Jones with the pick 6. He had 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery in the game as Richmond forces 6 turnovers in all. They shut out Rhode Island 37-0. William & Mary hosting 4th-ranked Villanova. Tribe down 14-7 in the second. It's the old flea flicker here. Steve Cluley going to air it out for Trey McBride. All tied up. The College would actually go ahead 21-12 at halftime. 24-21 Tribe now in the third. John Robertson going to keep it himself. Finds the end zone from 3 yards out. It's 28-24. Robertson 4 total touchdowns on the day. William & Mary would answer in the fourth. Cluley finding Andrew Kaskin. That score here putting the Tribe up 31-28. So now it's up to the defense. But with 52 seconds to go, Robertson finding Kevin Goulias, and he'll outrun the secondary to the end zone, making it 35-31 Nova. One last chance for the Tribe. Cluley with the Hail Mary as time expires, but it's incomplete. The Tribe puts up 518 yards of total offense, but they do lose 35-31.
We had a shot, and the way we were playing, we hurt ourselves early with the first half with a couple turnovers, and things here and there. It wasn't a clean game by any stretch of the imagination, but we made a lot of plays. So, but anyway, not enough.
The Tribe back in action next Saturday. They'll host Delaware. We'll have more sports right after this. Welcome back. Coastal Division leaders Virginia on the road to Duke this afternoon. First quarter after a UVA fumble, Duke's Anthony Boone to Eric Schneider. 7-0 Blue Devils. Now Virginia got on the board in the second quarter. Matt Johns here to his running back Khalid Shepard. Game was tied at 10 at the half. To the fourth quarter, it's now 13-13. Thomas Sirk with a jump pass to David Reeves. That was the difference in the game. Duke wins at 20-13. Now 4 teams, including Virginia, are 2-1 in the Coastal. Virginia Union scored 78 points in a win last week on the road at Shawan tonight. First quarter, Panthers down 7-6. It's a reverse pass. Wide receiver Jussie York, 63 yards to Jamal Wright. It's 13-7 Union. We go to the second quarter. The defense going to jump off sides over here, so it's a free play for the Panthers. This time York on the receiving end. Look at the one-handed grab. Virginia Union, big winners, 40-29. They are now 6-1. Elsewhere on the college football scoreboard, Virginia State remains unbeaten in CIAA play with a 24-14 win at Bowie State. Told you so. Randolph-Macon falls to 3-3 with their second conference loss of the year. They lose 28-25 at Washington and Lee. That's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
Our breaking news here on 12 News at 11. Search teams from the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office have uncovered human remains while looking for a missing UVA sophomore Hannah Graham. Those remains are now en route to the Chief Medical Examiner's office here in Richmond for a positive ID. While investigators are not ready to say the body is Graham's, we can tell you Charlottesville and Albemarle police say the search for Hannah is over. This is now a death investigation. Stay with NBC 12 through the rest of the weekend for the latest updates both on air and online. Our morning team is right back here on the air beginning at 6 a.m. And that's our broadcast on this Saturday night, and we thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Valerio. For all of us here at NBC 12, good night.